Welcome to a new update. Today we're talking about the altcoins. We're going to have an overall outlook on the markets, on the altcoins. But before we can continue, there's a few things that we must discuss with you first. But before we continue, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to this YouTube channel. Also, make sure to join our public Discord where we provide you with some trade ideas. Every 2 weeks we do it one. We've got live streams, we've got more content and everything there. It's a lovely community. Be there. Now, when we talk about things that are important, first of all, we've got Binance leaving the Dutch markets. That is a temporary case. So they are leaving the Dutch market, but they continue to pursue the license that they want. And there are also multiple other options. So for now, they are leaving the markets of the Netherlands. So until the 17th of July, you've got the ability to trade the assets that you have on the platform towards USDT, by Bitcoin or whatever, and then you can only withdraw from the 17th onwards. So the important thing is that if you have an asset that is only being traded on Binance, make sure that you have that asset being moved towards an asset that you can trade on other exchanges. Now, in order to have some feedback on this, of course, Binance is continuing to pursue the ability to become a trading exchange in the Netherlands. It is also not going to crash the markets if you think about it. But ultimately, it looks like we're going to have some more regulatory framework being designed. So probably you will be seeing more exchanges following the path. And it's a little bit annoying that the Netherlands is such a pain in the ass for the markets, and that is not solely focused on crypto, but also the betting offices, and also poker has been seeing some big hurdles, especially with PokerStars. It's not able to be using that in the Netherlands because of law. So if you are having a Binance account, make sure to follow suit. I've partnered up with Bitvavo, and because of that partnership, we've raised the welcome bonus towards 20 euros instead of 10 euros, which means 2,000 euro of free trading if you register your account through my affiliate link. Also, we're going to do some cool giveaways. We're going to do one-on-one meetings, maybe meetups. So make sure to make your account for Bitvavo, which you can use in the meantime, but which you can always use when you are trying to move your money from the bank towards crypto and vice versa. Additionally, another thing that I need to mention here is the one-on-one course. On the 20th of June, we will be announcing one winner of this course. If you sign up to it beneath here in the description, you are still able to win it. You're also able to get nice discounts on the course or on other products that we are going to release. Because this is the first course. There will be a second one, but this is the first course, which includes approximately 7.5 hours of content on the crypto markets for you to get your kickstart going about Bitcoin, ETH, NFTs, DeFi, FATA, security, mindset, and building your portfolio. It's all included, all presented to you with the course. I'm very, very proud that we can finally release this. Now, there are a few topics that I would like to discuss with you, which the first one is the fact that altcoins are doing really bad. So I tweeted this earlier, and I tweeted this for another chart as well, but what we can see here is the total tree chart, which is the crypto total market cap, excluding Bitcoin and ETH. So it's about 300 billion. What do I want to say here is that we've had a pretty beautiful bull market taking place, and you could also say that since May of 2021, we're technically in a bear market, which is currently taking place for 2 years, which is comparable to the period that we have been seeing here in 2019. That was also 2 years after the peak high, and then we started to slowly move upwards. Then we've had the cascade taking place in March 2020, of course, but that was just an outlier given that BitMEX engine started to fail. Now, we've had this bull cycle here, we've had this big move taking place, and we've had a case where the markets are currently showing some weakness, in which we've had a big crash taking place in May 2022. This resulted into a small bounce, but into resistance, another lower low, small bounce back into resistance, and now we are crashing back down towards this support, which is also comparable to the area that we had here. We can still fall towards 200 billion, but the point that I try to make here is the fact that we are following suit of the Wall Street cheat sheet. That is always the case of where you're going to get hype cycles, and I think altcoins usually go into hype cycles. Crypto also does that, through which euphoria was quite clear. That was May 2021. Then technically saying we've had complacency here in this stage, and then we started to have capitulation in this wick down. Then the anger phase, which is comparable to the period of FTX. I think that was really the period where anger is pretty much in line, and now we're getting into the depression phase. Yet we still have the SEC cases against Binance and Coinbase, but we also have the BlackRock filing, China opening up, the halving approaching, ETH swapping from proof of work to proof of stake. So right now we are in the case where markets are really not pacing up, especially not altcoins, through which you could say that the markets are into the depressive phase, especially, and it doesn't have to, but if we're going to sweep the low one more time. That is still on the cards, but it shows you that we are in a comparable period here as at the end of 2019, and it shows you that we are at the end of this entire bear market. So we are now in the phase of the markets where you can conclude that this is the point of maximum financial opportunity, because we are getting in this stage. We are not in this period, which means that here you can have the longest horizon for your investments and you can have the highest results. Although you don't feel like you have that right now, but the current period is actually the period where you can start getting the most return out of it, because the best return can be made from the period where the lowest interest is there. The second topic, before we continue to show some other charts on the altcoins, I'd like to discuss is the case of gold moving alongside Bitcoin, which is probably an indicator of what the markets might be doing. As I mentioned, gold has been sweeping the previous all-time high, as we can see here. Just a slight sweep. The magnet is not really working alongside me. There we go. So we swept the high. We've made this high here the 14th. We've also had this low taking place in March the 8th. Didn't crash as much as Bitcoin did, but if you look at silver, we've had a pretty substantial crash taking place here too, towards the March the 9th. Since then we've had a big run to the upside, and then the switch came in. April 14th, another high takes place, another high on May the 5th, just barely. If you go back into history or into the other charts, we can see the exact same. High at the April 14th, sweep of the high at May the 3rd, and then we start consolidating into support here, and we've got a significant bounce back upwards on the markets for gold. Now, if we look at the indices, for instance, we can definitely see that the indices has seen this crash too, and then we started to bazooka up. The reason why indices are doing so well is technically as the recession fears are relatively over, and also you can see that the dollar starts to show weakness. So what you want to see is weak economic data or inflation becoming lower than expected, through which we can see that the yields are going to fall down. Yields are going to fall down, which is currently on the edge of reversing. But when there is more uncertainty, you will probably see assets like gold and silver start to pace up. The trick here is that Bitcoin is following suit of that entire case. So what do we see here for Bitcoin? We see this peak, we see this case of this crash, right? Bottom on the weekend, comparable price actually with silver, started to shoot upwards, peak at April the 14th, another test here in May, couldn't really get the highs, that's different. But since then we start to just continue falling south, comparable to what silver and gold are doing. So instead, and the low was made here on May the 25th, instead of having a case of Bitcoin following the indices, we are actually following commodities, which is a good signal of potential reversal taking place. If gold starts to continue pacing upwards, especially as we can see right now that gold is making new highs, it is just a matter of time before Bitcoin starts to get into some serious momentum as well. So this is a topic you should be focused on. If we're looking at the total market cap for crypto, the total market cap also made this high here, complacency here, or just a bear market relief rally. And now it's getting into support, in which we need to reclaim a few important levels, and that is all about for next week. I think next week will be decisive in the terms of crypto markets, deciding whether or not we are going to break back above these 200 week MA. Then we probably are going to see a rally towards here anyway, which means that I think that if we are reversing here and Bitcoin bounces back up, we probably are going to see a rally towards 28.5 in the next few weeks, or at least next week, resulting into Bitcoin claiming the crucial triggers here, 25.8 to 26.1. It's a good bounce for Bitcoin, but it definitely needs to continue moving to the upside and clear the area at 26k, as when we start to break 26k, we start to take out all these highs, and that is when we can start seeing strength towards 29k. So we are getting there. There is some momentum, but we definitely need to continue pacing up. Now, with altcoins, are they eager for a continuation to the upside here? Especially if you look at the others chart, it is comparable to what we have been discussing previously with the Wall Street cheat sheet. Lower highs, lower lows. Potentially we are making a lower low here too, or we are finalizing itself and then we bounce back up, and then this is still the depressive phase where some charts are making lower lows. For instance, if you look at AVAX, for instance, they are creating, or they have been sweeping the low here or getting towards the low. As you can see, it swept it, which means that this is capitulation, this is anger, this is depression, and what comes out of depression, we probably are going to grind ourselves towards the upside. So altcoins are into a good moment to start accumulating. I'll be back on Tuesday with a new update. Make sure to join our group, make sure to sign up for the course, and I'll see you again on Tuesday. Ciao.